Sonya Dreiling, congratulations. We're backstage, Tapia Fight Night. How'd it feel?
Oh my gosh, it felt amazing. Getting in there, I learned to control a lot of things, so it was a different experience every time I get in there because I got to fight accordingly. But to get in there and do a rematch with Jordanne, that was something we've been trying to set up for a while, so be able to get in there and do that, that was phenomenal. You don't get women trilogies very often, and she's a hard opponent, so she's like her record speaks for itself, so she's an amazing lady. So to get in there with her was just phenomenal.
Jordanne had been gone from the sport for a little bit. Did you feel any rust coming off of her?
I think it was a normal fighter I was facing. She's just like me. We grew up doing it. Since she's been doing it a lot longer than I have, though. Her dad and everybody and her family. So she's got the experience there, which is, it's phenomenal to get in there with somebody that's been there, done it, has lived it. So to see her get back in there after being out for so long, she did a great job. I think like I said, she's got the experience. That's something that you never lose. It's like getting back on a bike. You never forget how to ride it. So she did great.
How much different of a fight did you feel this was from the first meeting that we saw a couple years ago?
I think it was a lot more controlled. Something I've been working on. Growing up, I grew up as a brawler, so being able to control myself in there, especially when I get an opponent that's a brawler as well or can brawl. When they get in close, there's times where you want to just keep throwing punches, but it's mental. You got to be able to hold yourself back, and you think about it. It's like, am I gonna wear myself out trying to push this person off me, or you let the refs and everyone else do their job and play it out as a mental fight. It's like a chess game. So it was a little bit different. I didn't go in there and just gas it out or anything. I thought my process through punches that I knew that I could land, and played very smart.
Any concerns going to the judges about the way those cards were going to come out? They all went easily in favor of you, but was there any concern her hometown going the cards?
It always is. Going into somebody else's backyard, you're always thinking, it could go either way. If you feel like you've put it all out there and that you've kind of dominated the fight, no questions asked, you don't really get that thought in the back of your head. Fighting here in New Mexico, I grew up fighting here a lot, as an amateur and stuff, but then I have a lot of family here, so I think of New Mexico as my hometown as well. I love New Mexico. I got a lot of heritage here from the Gallegos and Torres side of the family on my dad's side, so being here has been very nostalgic, being in an area where you've got a lot of family history and ancestry that goes with it, so fighting here was just, I didn't really feel like I was out of place, just because I do have the heart and love for New Mexico in itself.
What were you happy with about your performance tonight?
My control. Definitely my control and being able to listen to my coach in the corner. CJ's been working with me with that. We've improved throughout every fight, which I'm pretty proud of myself because growing up it was always a struggle. I wanted to go in there and just tear it up, and I've learned from previous fights, and as you're supposed to, from wins and losses, it doesn't matter, as long as you're taking from it some kind of knowledge to put in your toolbox. So yeah, that was kind of that self-control, I think.
And I gotta ask also, do you consider yourself a two-sport athlete? Because I know it's kind of still boxing, but I've watched you without the gloves on there and the trigon, and I consider you a two-sport athlete.
Yeah, I would say, working with the BYB was probably the best thing and the next step in my career. Working in that trigon, it is small space, no place to run, so you do learn to brawl it out in there a lot. But being a tri-star, multi-athlete for it, yes, it takes boxing to a whole other level. It's a lot more fast-paced, the punches are a lot more direct. You gotta be very accurate and precise to where you're hitting, so that comes into play. So it takes it to a whole nother level. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's so brutal. It's really not. It's like a sanctioned street fight. If you're up to street fighting, you can definitely get in there. As far as an athlete though, you gotta have your cardio and stuff in place. But yes, I thank the BYB for everything they've given me, because working in the trigon and with BYB, it's just been phenomenal. And then we merged with BKB. So I had just gone out to London in October. We're going to be in Dubai March 18th. So I will be fighting out in Dubai. So working with the Bare Knuckle and the BYB, being an athlete, that's just, I love it. It's phenomenal. Like I said, it's just been, I'm in awe and in all shock, in every fight that I take, whether it's boxing or Bare Knuckle. But I enjoy Bare Knuckle and I love it with all my heart.
And is there a big difference in transitioning between the two?
Yes, actually. Like I said, in Bare Knuckle, it's a lot more fast-paced. You gotta think a lot faster. It's like speeding up a chess game. You're trying to think 2 steps, 3 steps, 5 steps ahead of somebody, setting up punches, and they have to be precise. The wrong hit, in the wrong place, you take out your hands in that fight, you're done. It's a lot more technical. So yes, it is a lot different.
Sonya, congratulations on the night, and I'm sure there's some people you need to thank.
Yes, most definitely. I would like to thank my sponsor, Callie. She owns her own DC Fiber Construction Company. She is my ride or die sponsor. She has been there for several of my fights. Media, you name it. I thank her for everything she does do for me. Because she goes above and beyond. As far as a sponsor, I couldn't ask for better. I wear all my trunks, of course, I want to thank my coach, CJ. CJ's there anytime I call him for any fights, anything that we got going on. I want to thank the gyms that work with me. Antonio Martinez, he worked with me a little bit here before this fight, gave me some pointers, stuff like that. I want to thank my kids, my family, my husband for putting up with what I do, because that's rough in itself on a family, when you're gone and stuff like that. And then I always carry my dad with me, so of course on my trunks it says "Rest Gallegos forever, you're in my heart." That's my dad. I told Jordanne tonight, but it's something I strongly feel, and I've seen it with some of my other opponents where they've got their dad by their side out there in that ring. That is the most blessing you can ever have, is to have somebody that loves you and cares for you unconditionally. They're by your side when you're in the war in that ring. So it is something I'm a little jealous of, because I had mine all the way up till I was about 16 when my dad passed away. So the real winners out there are the ones that actually got the family there that are ride or die with them, and I completely and utterly enjoy seeing that bond between them. That is phenomenal. Her dad picking her up in the ring, that is great. So yeah, I just want to thank everybody that's been there for me, helped me throughout everything. My work for giving me the time off, because they're always willing to work with me. My bosses and everybody, and then all my coworkers that do support me on this. So that's about it.